In the urgency of a bustling emergency room, Emily, a young nurse, navigates with instinctive precision. Monitors beep, phones ring, stretchers roll by, and the smell of antiseptic mingles with that of blood. Exhausted after 6 hours of her shift, she responds without hesitation to the calls. Room 3, sutures. Suddenly, a critically injured man arrives, a victim of a car accident. Unconscious, he is losing blood rapidly, a deep gash in his abdomen. The paramedics shout, "Male, mid-30s, AB negative, suspected internal bleeding." Dr. Chen, an experienced physician, curses upon learning that the supply of AB negative blood is depleted. Without hesitation, Emily declares, "I am AB negative." Time is of the essence. The man is dying. Despite the surprised looks, she insists, "Take my blood, I am healthy." Chen, after a brief moment of hesitation, agrees. Emily follows the team to the transfusion room, where a needle pierces her arm. She watches her blood fill the bag, aware that it is the only chance for this stranger's survival. A colleague asks her if she is sure, in the middle of her shift. Emily replies with a smile, "Letting someone die would be worse." 20 minutes after the donation, she is back at work, a glass of water in hand, refusing to rest. As she passes by, she hears a paramedic whisper that a 6-year-old girl is waiting for her father, the patient. This news strikes Emily to the core. She has not seen his face, does not know his name, but knows that a child is at risk of losing her world. This act of generosity, spontaneous and selfless, marks the beginning of a story that will change lives. The next morning, the man is stabilized. Emily, exhausted, crosses paths with Dr. Chen, who is removing his gloves after the operation. He looks at her and simply says, "You saved him." She shrugs, "I did what anyone would have done." But her gaze says otherwise. She returns to her post, the hum of the hospital enveloping her like a second skin. She knows nothing about the man, neither his name nor his story, only that he is a father and that he survived thanks to her. This thought is enough to carry her. Back home, in her quiet little apartment, Emily collapses against the door. The hallway light flickers, and she doesn't bother to turn it on. Every corner of her home bears the marks of her solitude: a worn-out couch, marks on the cabinets, an almost oppressive silence. She fills a glass with water, her reflection in the window revealing tired eyes and pale cheeks. A message from Maya, her friend, pulls her from her thoughts. "Are you alive?" Emily smiles and replies, promising a breakfast together. Lying on the couch, a heating pad against her, her mind drifts back to the man and his daughter. She thinks about the fragility of life, how her blood kept a stranger alive. Giving is not foreign to her, but it often comes at a cost. Her ex, Nick, had exploited her generosity, turning her altruism into a weapon. Yet, despite the wounds, Emily refuses to become cold. She still gives, but with caution, because staying true to herself is her strength. That night, she falls asleep knowing she made a difference, even if no one will ever know. A few days later, Emily goes to the hospital outside her department to drop off books for the hospitalized children, a habit she has maintained for months. In the pediatric courtyard, an area designed like a small park with benches and flower beds, she spots a little girl with pigtails chasing after Bubbles, laughing heartily. "Daddy, I caught two," she shouts. Emily follows her gaze and sees a man sitting on a bench, tall, dressed in a navy blue sweater. He smiles at the little girl with complete attention, but his left arm seems stiff, and a grimace betrays a pain. A bandage peeks out from under his sweater. Suddenly, everything clicks. It's him, the man she saved. She had never seen his face, but the coincidence strikes her. He is alive, laughing with his daughter, Sophie, who depends on him. Emily stands frozen, a mix of emotion and warmth rising within her. She could leave, keep her secret, but she stays, watching silently. The man looks up and meets her gaze. He gives her a polite nod, a brief exchange of strangers. She responds in kind, unable to speak. A nurse calls for Sophie for a checkup, and the man stands up, grimacing slightly, before taking his daughter's hand. They disappear into the pediatric wing. Emily places a hand on her chest, feeling an inner tremor. This moment, seeing this man alive because of her act, rekindles a glimmer of hope within her. Not a romantic hope, but a conviction that kindness can return, quietly, in the form of a father and his daughter. She leaves, her steps lighter, unaware that their paths will cross again. In the following weeks, Emily and Liam cross paths more often, in hospital corridors, near the cafe, or at the pediatric wing exit. Their exchanges evolve from polite nods to brief conversations, then to intentional moments. Liam, a single father, stands out with his attentive listening and simplicity. Unlike other parents, he doesn't seek to impress or overshare. Emily appreciates this restraint. Liam is surprised by how comfortable he feels with her. One afternoon, they find themselves sitting on a bench near the children's wing, Sophie busy coloring with volunteers. Emily holds a cup of lukewarm tea, with Liam beside her. He breaks the silence. "Do you think everything happens for a reason?" Emily reflects. "Some things have no reason, but we give them meaning afterward. Otherwise, it's just pain without purpose." Liam nods and confides, "My wife died 3 years ago, in a car accident. Sophie was 3. Emily listens without pity, with silent understanding. Liam continues, "I shut everything down after that. Work, people, my emotions. Until the accident. They told me I almost didn't make it. Someone donated blood." Emily feels her heart tighten. He doesn't know she is that person. Liam adds, "A nurse said a little girl was waiting for me. That stuck with me." Emily gently touches his shoulder, feeling the scar beneath his sweater. "Some survive thanks to medicine, others because someone stayed," she murmurs. Liam looks at her. Maybe both. This moment marks a turning point, a budding connection, fragile yet real, between two souls marked by loss. One day, Liam overhears a conversation between 2 doctors near the nurses' station. They discuss a case of internal bleeding, AB negative, where a nurse, Emily, donated her blood on the spot. Liam stops dead in his tracks. It was him, his accident. The revelation shakes him. He searches for Emily in the staff lounge, where she arrives, a coffee in hand. "Emily," he says softly. She stops. "It was you, wasn't it?" She nods, not pretending ignorance. "You knew and you didn't tell me," he murmurs, shaken. "It didn't matter. You were healing," she replies. He presses on. "Why do that for a stranger?" She looks at him. "Because I was told a little girl was waiting for her father. I couldn't bear for her to lose him, like I lost my mother." Liam, moved, steps closer. "You brought me back to Sophie, to myself." Emily lowers her gaze. "I wasn't looking for recognition." He takes her hand, her fingers trembling. "You made me believe again," he says. "In what?" she asks. "In kindness, in those who act out of pure humanity." Tears well up in Emily's eyes. For the first time, she feels her inner walls crumbling, allowing a vulnerability she had long contained. Liam sees her not as a nurse, but as an extraordinary person, a quiet miracle. This moment seals their bond, transforming an act of compassion into an unspoken promise. Emily, who has always given without expecting, begins to believe that kindness can return, not as a debt, but as an unexpected gift. A few weeks later, Liam suggests an outing. A quiet park outside the city. Sophie loves it. Just the 3 of us. Emily, after a brief hesitation, agrees. They meet under a large oak tree, a checkered blanket spread out on the grass. Sophie runs with a red kite, laughing as the string dances in the wind. Emily, her fingers stained with flour after decorating cookies with Sophie, watches the little girl with a soft smile. Liam hands her a glass of lemonade. "How are you?" "Perfect," she replies, sincere. The afternoon flows in an almost sacred simplicity. Liam stokes a small fire. Emily slices apples. Sophie weaves flower crowns. They eat too many marshmallows, tell stories, laugh under the sun. It's neither extravagant nor luxurious, but it's real. For Emily, it's a novelty. Her childhood, marked by financial worries and the loss of her mother, lacked such spontaneous joys. With Liam and Sophie, she discovers a presence free from constraint. As the sun sets, Sophie falls asleep on a blanket, a book in hand. Emily lies on the grass, contemplating the golden light. Liam, beside her, watches his daughter. She is strong, Emily says. She had to be, he replies, recalling the loss of his wife. I tried to protect her, but some days I didn't know how to hold on. Emily looks at him. You did more than hold on, you stayed. Sophie wakes up, climbs onto Emily's lap, and hugs her. Cuddle break. Surprised, Emily laughs. Sophie adds, You make Dad smile more than when he wins at Mario Kart. Liam smiles, moved, and Emily feels a new warmth, that of a budding family, fragile yet full of promise. On a rainy evening, Emily accidentally learns some troubling news. 2 residents are discussing a patient being monitored for internal bleeding, whose scar tissue could affect his liver. He has refused examinations. Emily recognizes the patient's code. It's Liam. Upset, she heads to his place in the pouring rain. He opens the door, surprised. You weren't going to tell me anything, she says, her voice trembling. They think the damage isn't over, that you've skipped follow-ups. Liam looks away. I didn't want to drag you into something dark. You've already saved me. I'm not here out of duty, she replies, but because I care about you. He hesitates. I didn't want you to feel trapped by my uncertainties. Emily steps closer, tears mingling with the rain. Do you think I don't know fear, loss? I don't want someone perfect. I want someone real. Liam remains silent, hurt by his own doubts. You're pushing me away to protect me, but maybe you're protecting your fear of being loved when you feel broken. The rain soaks them, but they don't move. Suddenly, Liam takes her hands. Don't go. I don't want to just survive anymore. Emily, I want to live with you. She responds, her voice firm. No matter the future, I want us to face it together. He embraces her, and in the storm, they find refuge. This raw exchange reveals their vulnerability, but also their commitment to choose love, despite uncertainties, sealing a bond stronger than ever. A year later, the hospital courtyard shines under white canopies and twinkling lights. The event, A Drop of Hope, an annual blood donation drive, celebrates the lives saved and given. Emily, in a blue dress, oversees the organization, her heart swelling with pride. What started as a small gesture has grown into a community movement, connecting donors and recipients, offering support groups and resources on rare blood types. Liam, holding lemonades, and Sophie, with her dancing pigtails, stand by her side. Their trio has become a constant, a natural rhythm. Neighboring hospitals adopt the initiative, and letters from donors to recipients weave human connections. Emily steps onto the stage. Thank you, not just for being here, but for believing in this idea. A year ago, it was a dream. Today, it's a movement. The crowd applauds. Sophie, holding a sheet of paper, joins Emily. In a clear voice, she declares, My name is Sophie. I'm 6 years old, almost 7. My daddy is here thanks to someone who donated blood, Emily. The crowd laughs and is moved. Sophie adds, She is kind, brave, and makes the best pancakes. Then, more softly, I love my daddy and Emily. She gave him a second heart, and now we share it. Silence, then a standing ovation. This moment captures the essence of their story, an act of compassion that transformed lives and inspired a community. Emily, touched, feels that her kindness, often given without return, has finally found a resonance, not in recognition, but in shared love and a cause greater than herself. At the heart of the event, Liam steps onto the stage, his badge reading Dr. Liam Harper, advocate for donors, founder of the project. But that's not why the crowd is watching him. He pulls out a small velvet box and silence falls. Emily, frozen, sees a golden ring adorned with a red sapphire, like a heartbeat. Kneeling, Liam speaks, his voice hoarse. I don't know how much time I have left. I've brushed with death enough to know that nothing is guaranteed. But if I can spend every second with you, Emily, I will live fully. Will you marry me? Tears stream down Emily's cheeks, but her smile bursts like a ray of sunshine. She nods, whispering yes. Liam slips the ring onto her finger, and Sophie throws herself into their arms. The crowd rises, applauding, mingling laughter and tears. A bell rings out, symbolizing a successful transfusion, a ritual born the day Liam survived. Emily looks at the crowd, doctors, patients, volunteers, and knows this is not an end, but a beginning. Their story, born from a blood donation, has transformed into a home, a life built on sacrifice and resilience. Liam, who had lost faith in goodness after his wife's death, found in Emily a reason to believe again. Sophie, with her pure love, completes this picture. Together, they embody a truth. True love does not arise from perfection, but from the courage to give and receive, even in the face of uncertainty. This moment, under the spring lights, seals their commitment, not only to each other, but to a life of meaning and connection. The story of Emily and Liam began with an act of compassion in an emergency room, culminating in a celebration of love and hope. What started as a blood donation, a spontaneous gesture to save a stranger, grew into a community initiative, a drop of hope that saves lives and unites hearts. Emily, who gave without expecting anything in return, found in Liam and Sophie a family, a love she had not anticipated. Liam, marked by loss and a near-fatal accident, rediscovered faith in goodness through Emily. Sophie, with her innocence, wove a bond between them, transforming them into a trio united by more than blood, love, resilience, and truth. Their story reminds us that kindness, often discreet, can change destinies. Emily did not give to be recognized, but because doing nothing would have haunted her. Liam, upon learning of her gesture, saw in her a rare light in an often harsh world. Their love, forged in vulnerability and honesty, proves that the smallest acts, a drop of blood, a smile, a helping hand, can resonate forever. Under the hospital awnings, surrounded by laughter and saved lives, they embody a lesson. Healing begins with compassion, hope with courage, and love with the willingness to stay. This story, simple yet profound, invites us to believe in the beauty of selfless choices, which, like a drop in the ocean, create waves of love and change.